Battlefield 2042 was a load of toilet backup, but there now lies a gap to be filled, and Battlebit Remastered aims to fill that gap. People have been hyping this game up, claiming it's better than Battlefield 2042, but that bar is lower than the Ocean Gate submarine. For the most part, Battlebit is a Battlefield game. It reminds me mostly of Battlefield 3, but Battlebit does have its own identity and mechanics to differentiate it a bit. Sadly, however, I'm not on the hype train most people are. The game has a solid foundation, but at the moment it can't decide if it wants to go the slower tactical shooter route or arcadey run and gun. At the moment, the game has tried combining these two very different styles into something that's a bit messy. Battlebit has all the Battlefield game modes, Conquest, Rush, Frontlines, you get the idea, but its main difference from Battlefield is the ability to play 254 player matches. Now this may sound impressive, and it is, the sheer carnage going on screen is mad, but it has a habit of being too chaotic. There's so many windows, doorways, bushes, vantage points, trees, cars, walls, bins, you name it, that players can and will be shooting from. And even the most skilled player is going to have no chance, because you can't keep track of it all unless you're God himself. When you first start playing, it's a frustrating exercise in getting into a battle, firing off a few shots, and then getting beamed from one of 5,000 places you couldn't keep an eye on. Personally, I think a lot of the maps are a bit small for the massive player count, but luckily the game has plenty of servers for 64v64 and 32v32. Like I said at the start, Battlebit does have some mechanics that give it some identity. For example, my favourite mechanic is the drag. When one of your team is gunned down, you can drag their body into some cover so they can be revived safely. It's reminiscent of those war films where one of the soldiers in the squad is shot and the main character drags them to safety going, "I got you, brother." It's really dramatic when you're dragging a teammate out of fire with bullets flying all over the place. And there's a nice risk-reward element to it of, oh, shall I risk it or not? The destruction of the game's buildings is also really good. Yes, Battlefield has it, but it feels like those games' destruction mechanics took a step back since Bad Company 1 and 2. I always appreciate it when people use it in clever ways, and it's cool to see a pristine town at the start of a match completely gone at the end. There's also a bleeding mechanic. Now I can't figure this out, it seems totally random. Sometimes you get hit and it's fine, other times you start bleeding and you have to use one of your bandages or have a medic come and use one of theirs. I could do without it, to be honest. It's a fast-paced game and stopping to apply a bandage stops it a bit dead. Saying that about it being fast-paced though, the game has a bit of an identity crisis. You have elements from slower tactical shooters in here, like leaning and the ability to be a squad leader, giving orders, build barricades and call in artillery strikes, using points you gain from capturing objectives. Problem is though, people don't really use it. The procs chat is just filled with noise and racial slurs, and all your gun attachments are unlocked by getting kills, so you have people prioritising that rather than playing the objectives and supporting the team. The use of vehicles is weird too. People use them at the start of a round to get to the first set of capture points, then from then you never see them again besides the odd tank. It's a weird mix. You've got people trying to play the game with a tactical approach, then you have people sprinting and buddy hopping everywhere like it's Call of Duty. The gunplay is decent, there's lots of attachments to unlock that do alter the feel of your guns in small and dramatic ways, and the class system works well. They seem pretty balanced and offer good support options for the team when people bother doing that. I would say the medic is the most useful. It seems most battles in this game dissolve into who can revive everyone the quickest. The cheating in the game as well is clear as day. People deny it, probably the same people who are cheating, but at the end of a few matches I've seen a massive list of people be immediately banned for cheating, and here's a screenshot taken from a Reddit post so you can see how it is. Look, I'll admit it, I'm not good at these types of games anymore. I'm an old man now, there's sloths with better reaction times than me, and it's doubly frustrating to have to deal with absolute wank shafts whose lives are so dull they have to cheat at a video game that is going to have no bearing on their miserable lives. In fairness, they are doing a good job of banning them, but it's like the Hydra, innit? Cut off one and more turn up. Graphically, I do like the game's style. It's easy to say it's a Roblox rip-off, but seeing as 3 people made the game, they couldn't exactly render it all in top-of-the-line graphics. It has its charms, but the blocky nature of the game can make it hard to see if that object that flew into the room was just some debris or several grenades. And the game's UI is pretty messy. Every one of your 127 team members have a blue dot above their head. Fine, cool, I need a way to identify them somehow, but Jesus, it can look like your monitor is shitting itself at points. The sound design is pretty good. The vehicles sound rubbish, but the guns and explosives are meaty enough. Obviously it's not on Battlefield's level in this department, but again it's made by 3 people. It's a bit unfair to expect that kind of quality in the sound. And that makes what I'm about to say in conclusion a bit hypocritical. I appreciate it's only made by 3 people, but there's things that really need to be addressed. It needs to pick a playstyle for one, rather than the in-between mess it is now. The UI needs sorting out, the cheating problem needs sorting. It's got content, sure, there's 17 maps and loads of guns, but content doth not make a good game. Yes, it's in early access, which is why these criticisms are so important. If they can hire some more people to help and get the game on track, yes, I can see this being a banger. But for now, I wouldn't recommend it. Its YouTubers have overhyped it, as per usual.
I'm such a mess, I'm lost, I'm no good at this. I'm in love, still in love, still in love with you. Hard as I try, I can't even drink this pain away.